Hi, my name is Brian Blair. I'm the training chair for the Rattlesnake Ridge District of the Blue Mountain Council. This video is the position-specific training for merit badge counselors. This is the first in a series of videos we intend to make and allow leaders and others more flexibility to receive the training, especially for the distance some people have to get to training, particularly for our merit badge counselors. And so to get credit for completing this training, the expectation is that you'll watch this video. You can watch it in segments, watch it in groups, and at the end, send me an email. I'll post that here in the notes below the video, and just report that you've completed the training. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer any of those questions. Because in the end, we're all here to serve the boys, make sure they have a better program, a better experience, and all the bounty of scouting and all the things that the program of scouting has to offer them. And the merit badge program is an essential part of that program and a key part of that program. And your role as a counselor has a very important part of the program for these boys. And I appreciate you and thank you in advance for your willingness not only to serve as a merit badge counselor, but to participate in this training so you can enhance your skills and be the best merit badge counselor possible for our youth. Now, this presentation was designed by the National Advancement Council of the Boy Scouts of America. It's not something we made up locally. So this is the actual merit badge counselor training slide deck that they have. You can find it online yourself. They actually update it every year. You'll note the expiration date here that says that this training is only good through December 31st, 2016. And so on that date, we'll take this video down and we'll see what National has, and we'll record a new video so that other merit badge counselors can participate. But until then, hope that you all participate in this and share it with your friends. Invite others to serve as merit badge counselors and help us grow scouting, help us provide a better program for our youth. This training is going to cover the overview of scouting, mission names and methods, to help understand where merit badge counseling fits into that and what it takes to be a merit badge counselor, make sure that you're enrolled properly and registered properly with the Boy Scouts, how the merit badge counseling process works, and resolve any questions and some of the myths that kind of come along with that. And some tips for effective counseling, and specifically we'll talk about some of the challenges that go into group instruction or camp settings. It's important that everybody in the Boy Scouts of America understand the mission of the Boy Scouts. The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Everything in Boy Scouts is calculated, from Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Varsity Scouts venturing, to achieve this mission. Anything that we're doing outside of activities, anything else that's not supporting this mission, we should probably reevaluate. And so specifically in the context of merit badges, that's how we're going to look at that today. How are we helping our youth grow into people that are going to make a lifetime of moral choices and a lifetime of service? Which is the aims of the scouting program: character development, citizenship training, mental and physical fitness. And so it's important that we understand that the one merit badge or the two merit badges we may be working on these youth with all fit into this bigger puzzle of how we're helping the kids grow up to be young men and women of character that are going to be great citizens and are mentally and physically fit to participate in our society and to bless others. So the methods of scouting, these are the time-tested methods laid out from the foundation and for over 100 years now have proven that these are the proper ways to deliver the scouting program. And when done in balance, they really support the growth of the boys in achieving the mission and the aims of scouting. Now, it's important to understand that the merit badge process and earning merit badges isn't just part of the advancement method of scouting. It actually ties into all the other methods of scouting. And we need to understand that merit badges aren't just part of the Trail to Eagle. Merit badges also reinforce the scouting ideals of being true, honest, with what you've completed. The patrol method reinforces units when units decide they want to work on things together, or when units encourage their fellow patrol members to go work on something on their own and follow up on each other. Association with adults. That's a big one in merit badge counseling process. With you as a counselor, as a quality adult that's passed a background check, are there to counsel and mentor the youth in a future profession, a future hobby, or a future interest. Our youth need that. They need leaders, they need adults that they can talk to, learn how to associate with adults and be adults themselves. The outdoors is always the classroom of scouting. Even for science related badges or chess or anything, think of ways to incorporate the outdoors where it makes sense and where it's possible. Leadership development. Part of leadership is learning how to set goals, how to achieve things, how to set timetables. Having a boy work on his merit badges accomplishes that. The uniform is an important method of scouting. The uniform is where the boy displays his merit badge to show the pride and the accomplishments that he's done. And it also is an inspiration to other youth to achieve the same things. And in the end, personal growth. We want the boys to grow into mature citizens, just like we talked about. And so all these things can all be accomplished in part through the merit badge counseling process and the merit badge program. And that's why it's so important, your role as a merit badge counselor. It's also important to understand the 4 steps in Boy Scout advancement. A scout learns, a scout is tested, a scout is reviewed, and a scout is recognized. As a merit badge counselor, you're directly involved in those first 2 steps. You help the scout learn the material, and the scout is tested. And this is where the boy demonstrates his ability and his mastery of the topic. Again, merit badges are clearly part of the advancement process. Merit badges are a requirement for the boys to earn. There are different ranks for Star, Life, and Eagle in scouting. Some are listed as required, some are electives. There are specific ones required for the Eagle rank. Scouts can earn them anytime that they're a registered Boy Scout, Varsity Scout, Venturer, or Sea Scout. They are limited among Venturers and Sea Scouts to boys. It is not true that a boy must have earned his Star rank in order to keep working on merit badges. That is a different thing. Venturers or Sea Scouts must have earned at least first class in a Boy Scout troop or a varsity team in order to keep working on a rank. But they may still continue to work on merit badges, even if they have not attained those ranks in a troop or a team first. Merit badges come in a very broad array, and that's on purpose because no youth is the same. They all have different interests, different talents, different possibilities. And the merit badge program has over 130 merit badges to meet that wide need and to introduce the boys into a whole world of new possibilities. Everything from chess to space exploration to camping to first aid to hiking, sports, scholarship, stamp collecting. There's something in there for everybody. And there's a need for that many different merit badge counselors to introduce our boys to that wide variety of topics. Everything from possible professions to possible lifetime hobbies to life skills. There's something important to learn in every merit badge. And again, the benefits of the merit badges, they directly point towards the aims of scouting. They help the boys learn life skills, how to set personal goals, how to follow through on them, and how to establish healthy lifestyles, physical fitness, and possibly pick a career or a hobby. And of course, that exposure to adult association, a positive role model, which is you as their counselor. Now, to be a merit badge counselor, you have to be at least 18 years of age, good character. I mean, you have to pass the background check as every other scout. You need to have skills and education in the subject area. And that is up to your interpretation for the most part of, and the expectation is it's more than just a passing knowledge or somebody that perhaps read about that sometime. You should be able to engage the boys in all the requirements of the merit badge and to be maybe not the subject matter expert in all aspects of it, but you should have a solid foundation, a solid understanding that the boy can use you as a resource. And you also need to be able to have a good rapport with both the leaders and the scout age youth. Part of teaching is finding a way to help the boy and to relate to the boy and help him understand. It's important to also note that being a merit badge counselor is a separate position within the Boy Scouts. It's not inherent in being a scoutmaster or a crew advisor or a team coach. Even if you are in any of those positions, you must still register separately as a merit badge counselor in order to serve as a counselor and sign off on any merit badge. Some merit badges to be a counselor require either special certification and training or an agreement that you will only counsel that merit badge with a qualified trainer. For example, the shooting sports merit badges require you to either be National Rifle Association certified or certified through the Boy Scouts Camp School, or agree to only instruct and conduct those activities in the presence or with those certified people. But for the most part, we ask that you only sign up to counsel those merit badges that you already have those qualifications for. And some of the other ones, scuba diving has to be all water sports. Boating, you have to be done in accordance with the BSA Safe Swim Defense and Safety Afloat training, which are easy online courses. Canoeing requires certification with the American Canoe Association or a similar level of certification. If there's any questions, the Guide to Advancement, which we'll have a link to, can point you to that, or you can contact me or your district or council advancement chair, and they can clarify any topics on any merit badges that might require special certification. But the vast majority of them do not. So to register as a merit badge counselor, again, even if you're already registered in another position in scouting, you still need to fill out an additional adult application with the position code 42 to be a merit badge counselor. There are no exceptions to this. In the future, the Boy Scouts have promised an online registration process, but that has not come yet to our area. You must still fill out a separate application form. When you're re-registering as a merit badge counselor, you do not need to fill out a new form. Our district and council have the tradition of carrying forward all registered merit badge counselors that are current on their youth protection training each year. And so if you've already registered, you don't have to keep re-registering every year in our district. You do need to fill out your paperwork, again, if you're going to update, to add or drop a merit badge. It's also important to note that merit badge counselor is a council or district position. It's not a unit position. It's not approved at the unit level. You must turn your application in at the district advancement chair or at the council office, and they will accept it and they'll approve it there. And they are the approval authority for that position, not your local unit leader. So the forms, because there's always a form for that in scouting, you need to fill out the standard adult application, all the information there, and make sure you sign authorizing the background check. But there's also a separate merit badge counselor information application, and this is where you list the specific merit badges that you agree to counsel for, and provide some background information on why you're qualified to allow the advancement committee to have the information they need to approve you to counsel those merit badges. When you're filling out the form, if you are going to counsel more than 8 merit badges, which is okay, go ahead and make a continuation list either on the back of the form or attach another form listing all the merit badges that you feel you're qualified to counsel for. Also, you note on the form that you have the option to check whether you're only going to work with scouts from your unit, certain units, or all scouts. We always encourage you, if possible, to check all scouts. This allows scouts from all units to have the opportunity to have access to merit badge counselors on all the different topics, and allows you to work with more youth and to be a benefit and a blessing to more youth in the area. Youth protection training is a requirement. It's a joining requirement. In our council, the policy is they will not accept any application unless you've already taken your youth protection training online at my.scouting.org, and which is different than this slide. It's been updated. So my.scouting.org. When you get in, you can't miss it. There's a big click here to take youth protection training. You must be current, and at the end of that training, print out the certificate, and you must attach that to your application when you turn that in. Applications in this council will not be accepted if you are not current on your youth protection training. Also, if your youth protection training is not current, you will not be rechartered or rolled over into the new year as a merit badge counselor. Youth protection is vital to what we do. We're here to help the boys. We need to understand the policies. We need to make sure that others around us understand the policies. Please stay current on your youth protection training. And again, local councils are the approval authority for merit badge counselors, and there is a background check, just like for every leader. They may contact you if they have any questions about special certifications that you may need for their merit badges. And again, like we mentioned, you can work with one unit or many, and we hope that you'll be willing to work with as many scouts as possible. So now that we're done with the paperwork and the sign-up process, which many of you may have already been through, let's actually review the process of counseling, your actual role as a merit badge counselor. So in the ideal world, the way that the merit badge process should work, or ideally works, doesn't necessarily have to be this way, but this is the best process, the best practice, and the guided advancement has a lot more information about why. But it goes back to like we talked about earlier. All these things aren't necessarily just to get the boy a first aid merit badge, because even though first aid of itself is a valuable skill for the youth, the point is also the process of the boy learning, identifying his interests, setting goals for his rank advancement, and going through and taking responsibility for that progress for himself. And so it starts with a scout indicating his interest in discussing the badge with his unit leader. So that's the scoutmaster, the team coach, or the crew advisor, depending on the type of unit the boy is in. This should happen in scoutmaster conferences or any formal and informal setting, but leaders should ask the boys periodically what they're interested in, but boys should also be taught that they can take responsibility for their own progress and advancement earning merit badges and ask their leaders to sit down and help them. The unit leader signs a blue card, which is the merit badge record, and we'll talk about that later. And it says, and provides at least one counselor. So the district and council maintain a list of approved counselors, and that is available to unit leaders. And unit leaders should not be distributing the entire list to their boys. One is a privacy factor for the hundreds of merit badge counselors, but it's also a youth protection factor. You don't want to have a youth that has access to the contact information of several hundred adults unsupervised. The role of the unit leader is to help the boy identify what he wants to work on and to provide him the name of at least one registered counselor, hopefully more, 2 or 3, let the boy have a choice. Then it's on the scout contacts the counselor, not mom, not dad, not the scoutmaster. It should be the responsibility of the scout to reach out to that counselor. And the scout and counselor meet. Often it will take several times, but the scout needs to take the lead in setting up that meeting and what the expectations with those counselors are. And it's important that the scout learn, and we'll talk about it some more, that it's a process. It shouldn't just be, hey, I've done these things, I'm going to show up and I expect you to sign these things. It should be a collaboration and a discussion. And the role and the end state is the requirements are fulfilled. Remember the steps to advancement. A scout learns, then he's tested. And so your role as a counselor to help make sure that the youth has the opportunity to learn the material and then meet with you to pass it off. So again, a graphic that shows this. The scout meets with his unit leader, gets a merit badge counselor name or more and a blue card, and that's signed by the scout leader. The scout contacts the counselor. You have your first meeting, subsequent meetings, and as the youth completes his requirement, you sign off on the blue card of the application. The scout returns that back to his unit leader, and the unit leader turns that into the unit committee. Whoever is tracking advancement for the committee, most committees should have an advancement coordinator, and that person keeps records to make sure that the badge is bought and the record is made, and in internet advancement and with the council office to make sure that the boy has a historical record of what's going on. So on the blue card itself, there's been a change within the last 2 years about the idea of the blue card and what it means and what the unit leader's signature means. It's required for scouts to work with the counselors. The point is, the boys, even though they're proactive, they still need to let their scoutmaster or their coach or advisor know what's going on. They need to discuss with them, and the leaders need to know which boys are working on what merit badges with what counselor. Because you don't want boys going off and working with someone who may not be a registered counselor, who may not have completed their youth protection training, a worst case situation. But, even in a benign situation, a boy does a bunch of work with a guy or a lady that may not be a registered counselor, and now you have to go find another counselor and do it all over again. We don't want to set the boys up for failure like that. And that's one of the roles of the unit leader, to make sure that that doesn't happen by knowing what's going on in the lives of their boys and the progress of their boys. Now note, it says, I have discussed this merit badge with the scout and recommended at least one merit badge counselor. That's all that means. It does not indicate the unit leader approves of the boy working on that merit badge. Unit leader doesn't get to tell a boy, no, you may not work on a badge, or yes, you may work on a badge. It just indicates that you're aware that he's expressed interest and that you've pointed him in the right direction, and that you've given him at least one registered counselor. And it shows that. But it's also not required for a start. scout to start working on his requirements. A lot of times, some of the requirements the boy may have done even without even realizing there was a merit badge for that. Yeah, the scout may go camping before he even sits down to formally start working on his camping merit badge. Or he may already have great grades in school and then find out, oh, there's a scholarship merit badge, and oh, I've already got a great GPA. And so you can't tell a boy he may not take credit for those things. The only thing, they may take credit for anything they've done since they've been a registered scout, as long as it's been reasonable. And we'll talk about that. And so, but the point of this is that, the scoutmaster, coach, or advisor should be encouraging the boys. They shouldn't be the roadblock. They may not disapprove a boy working on a merit badge. You can counsel them, guide them, tell them, hey, maybe working on 20 merit badges at once might be a bit too much, help them focus. But the boy has to take responsibility for himself and his life, and that's part of the scouting program. On that application for merit badge, the blue card has a scout's information, and then there's a section to write down the requirements and the date they were completed and the counselor's initials. On the reverse of the blue card, you'll know that the card itself actually breaks into 3 sections. 1/3 is for you to keep as a counselor for your records in case there's ever a question, or of when it was done, or the scout loses his part. The scout gets to keep 1/3 for his records, to know that it got signed off on him in case his unit or the council lose theirs. And there's also a piece that goes back to the unit leader, and off to the committee for them to get the merit badge. So this triple redundancy ensures that at least somebody kept a record that this merit badge was complete, because this is important down the road going for Eagle and other ranks to be able to prove if there's any question that the scout did indeed complete this card. And so it's also important that it's legible, that your name is legible, that your contact information is legible, so that people can get a hold of you if they need to. Now remember, a merit badge counselor is there to guide and teach and mentor. And so remember, youth protection and all things, there needs to be a buddy present. But you need to work with the scout to assess his preparedness, where he's at to begin with, his interest in working on it. And in subsequent meetings, help him set goals, and in those subsequent meetings, he comes back and demonstrates what he's accomplished. Your role as a coach, depending on the age and the experience of the boys, they may already be well versed in the topic, or they may be at square one, and you're teaching them from the ground up. But your job as a coach, just as a football or basketball coach, you teach them the skills. You give them opportunities to develop those skills. You're encouraging them, helping them set goals, and evaluate progress, and help them get to the point where they can meet the requirement of the merit badge. You're also a mentor. You're there to spark their curiosity, encourage them to do things, and help them set long-term goals beyond the merit badge. Current requirements are always available online at scouting.org, or in the latest merit badge pamphlet. It's important to keep up to date on this as a merit badge counselor, because what you don't want to do is be working on a 2012 requirement when the merit badge was updated in 2016, and now there's a problem later on, because the boy are supposed to be working on the most current requirements. Another very important thing is to understand this. In Boy Scouts, the requirements are to be completed as written, no more, no less. There's no flexibility, there's no changing, no more, no less. If it says show, demonstrate, describe, that's literally what it means to do. So if it says discuss, that doesn't mean the boy writes it down on a piece of paper or emails you or texts you. Discuss means talk about it, discuss it back and forth. Tell is different than discuss. Discuss is a two-way conversation. Tell means the boy already knows the information and now he's telling you. And so it's important to pay attention to what the requirement is. A lot of times we're experts in the topic that we're a merit badge counselor for. And so even we don't want to require more of the boys than what's required. Remember, some of these boys are as young as 10 and a half or 11, and these requirements are meant for them to be able to accomplish them. So even though they may not have the same level of first aid or camping mastery that you do, the requirement for the merit badge is exactly what it says it is. We would hope that they will go on in life and get better at the skills, but the requirement for the merit badge is what it is, and we cannot require more of them. If it doesn't say it must be done by memory, then it doesn't have to be done by memory. Likewise, we can't ask less of them. If it says it must be done from memory, then that's the requirement. We can't make it easier, make it shorter for them. There is no waiver to make the requirements shorter or easier. The merit badge and the integrity of the program depends on us helping the boys achieve the requirements, the standards as they're written. Sometimes the question comes up, can you meet more than one requirement at a time? And the answer is, usually it's possible. But again, the requirement is the requirement. They all have to be met as written. So unless it's not specifically disallowed, you can do an activity that may meet one or two requirements for different merit badges. So a common example is communications merit badge and citizenship and the community merit badge. Both require a boy to attend a local government meeting. So going to one city council meeting could meet both of those requirements, but both of those requirements require a different product on the back end, a different report on what's going on. So going to that one meeting, yes, could meet both of those activities, as long as a boy does the two different reports required of the two different merit badges. If they are only similar, they have to make sure that they meet each requirement the way it's written. But the point is not to completely overburden the boys. You shouldn't have to go to 2 city council meetings if you can go to 1 city council meeting and complete that work. But in the end, it comes down to this basic part of the policy, which is that no council, committee, district, unit, or individual can add to or subtract from the advancement requirements. There are some exceptions, or limited exceptions, that is, for youth members that may have certain disabilities, and there's a special part of the Guide to Advancement that discusses that. But what you need to appreciate as a merit badge counselor, and all of us need to appreciate, is that merit badge requirements will not be waived or changed for any scout, regardless of their disability. So what happens with a scout with a disability, the Council Advancement Committee can set forth alternate requirements for them to earn their Eagle Scout. So for example, maybe they can't earn a specific merit badge because of their disability or limitation. They'll be given the chance to earn a different merit badge, but the integrity of the original merit badge is not changed. The merit badge requirements are the same for every single boy that earns that same merit badge. As a counselor, it's important to understand the buddy system, which gets back to the point of no one-on-one contact between an adult and a youth. Now that's an essential part of our youth protection policy to protect our youth and also to protect our adults. It's important to understand the difference between no one-on-one contact and the two deep leadership concept. Specific to merit badge counselors, two deep leadership is still advised but is not required. A merit badge counselor, as you can see in this picture, may meet with 2 boys, 2 youth, or with 1 boy and another buddy. That buddy could be another scout, could be a parent or guardian, could be a brother or sister, could be a relative or friend, as long as they're old enough and mature enough to appreciate what's going on in the situation. Best case, there's 2 leaders and there's more than 1 scout. Now you're helping more than 1 scout earn the merit badge and helping more than 1 scout have a great experience. But the buddy system must be followed at all times. That includes not only in person, but also when you're dealing with online communication or phone or texting. And so never be in a situation where you're texting back and forth with the youth directly. Have someone else on that text chain, like a parent or preferably another leader or at least another buddy. Same thing with emails. Don't have direct online contact. No one-on-one contact, either in person or online. Now, some tips for counseling. It's important to remember the bottom line on the bottom of this slide. This is scouting. Scouting is fun. We're supposed to have fun. We're supposed to help these boys be excited. We're supposed to help these boys want to pursue these things. And so part of that is the impression and the attitude and the manner that we present ourselves to them. They sit in a classroom all day. They have to deal with all kinds of things all day at school and tests and exams, and that's not what scouting is. Scouting is the wild adventure of the world. Introduce them to something exciting. Help them be excited about it by being excited about yourself. Help them understand that they can achieve these things and help them get there. And remember, have fun with it yourself. Again, tips for counseling using the EDGE method. The EDGE method is the instructional method we use in scouting. The boys learn it as soon as they're a Boy Scout as part of their rank advancement, to learn this method and to use it in teaching skills to others. And EDGE stands for explain, demonstrate, guide, and enable. So as a counselor, your first job is to explain, help the boys understand what the requirements are, help them understand the material behind that requirement, demonstrate the skill or the requirement or the information in a way that makes sense. If you're scuba diving or if you're tying a knot or first aid, show them how to do these things. Guide the youth in doing them. Guided practice. Help them learn how to do it safely and proficiently. Then enable them. Allow them to do it safely by themselves to prove that they've met that requirement, that they can demonstrate that they can do those things. Specific to group instruction, there are some benefits, but there's some challenges that you need to recognize as a merit badge counselor. So when you have group instruction, you can bring in a guest expert, a subject matter expert that may really know the topic. And a lot of times they may be very busy people and don't have time to work one-on-one with each of your youth. So you can have that guest expert interact with many youth at the same time. And you can also be more hands-on, more interactive when you have those things. Also, slideshows, videos such as this, other teaching methods can reach a broader audience. But ultimately the challenge is every scout must actually and personally fulfill every requirement as written. So it's not enough for a boy just to show up and be a part of the group while things were discussed. The boy must actively be part of that discussion. If it says tell, each boy must tell. If it says show, each boy must show. If it says demonstrate, each boy must demonstrate individually and personally that they can meet that requirement. Again, being present in the group when someone else does it is not sufficient. And so that's part of the ensuring quality. Your job as a merit badge counselor is to ensure that each boy gets the experience that they need out of the merit badge program. Sometimes you may have to limit the group to make sure that the boys are getting the attention they need. An auditorium full of 200 youth may not be the best place to have a discussion, because each boy cannot possibly participate in that discussion. We need to ensure that, such as yourselves, all other counselors that may be working with you or working on other merit badges and group events are properly registered and approved. And you also need to have a way for you. Certain merit badges have prerequisites that say, before you do this, you must do this. And that means what it means. And you need to have a way to talk with the boys and make sure that if there's a prerequisite that they need to have approval of a parent or a guardian for a certain thing, that is documented and you have that permission. And again, reach out to your counselor or district advancement committee if you have any questions. Camp settings. A lot of boys earn their merit badges at summer camp. Summer camp is so much more than earning merit badges, but the merit badge program has become a big part of most summer camps. It's important to note that in a camp setting, there are no exemptions for the merit badge counselor qualifications. Staff members under 18 may assist, but they're not actually the counselor. The counselor must be an adult 18 or older. And so the youth that may be assisting as instructors are just that, they're instructors. And again, all the other rules and procedures for merit badges have to be followed for group instruction or any other setting. And the boys must meet every requirement individually and personally. Same thing for merit badge merit badge college, merit badge events, all these other things. It's a great opportunity sometimes for boys to get merit badges that are hard, to bring in experts that they may otherwise not have contact with. But we have to change the culture. We have to help the boys understand that merit badge fairs and earning merit badges at camp are not the primary way to get merit badges. The merit badge process, as we've discussed up to this point, is the primary way to get a merit badge, to help the boy learn how to reach out and contact a counselor. We're not doing the boys a lot of good if we help them, or we don't help them see that they have an individual responsibility beyond just showing up at a merit badge college. Most merit badges cannot be done in a day, or they shouldn't be done in a day. And so the idea that they can just show up at a merit badge college and sit there for 3 hours and walk out with a merit badge isn't the kind of culture that we need to help our youth have. We need to help them understand that the merit badge process is a process and it can take time, because all good things do take time. And boys coming to a merit badge college need to know what the prerequisites are, and they need to fill those before they complete the requirements in the badge as it's written. And again, same problem with group instruction, ensuring that each youth individually and personally does the requirements. Anytime you do have a merit badge, a college or fair, there should be minimal fees, if any, charged for the event. It's not appropriate for a boy to have to come out of pocket to get to a merit badge event. Sometimes merit badge camporees or other things, there is a fee for food or for the campsite, those kind of things. But event planners should minimize all costs. They can brown bag their own lunch to save on food fees. Merit badge colleges often will charge for a mandatory patch. Reconsider that practice. Make these events as accessible as possible. Events should not be fundraisers. That's discouraged. Any non-scouting organization or business, such as REI or Bass Pro Fish Shop, some of these places have great merit badge events, but they need to work with the local council to get permission to hold these events and to use the BSA name and logo as a part of that event. And we can reach out and encourage other people to help us, but we need to follow these rules and processes to ensure the integrity of our merit badge program and to make sure our youth understand when they're at a BSA sanctioned event and when they're not. Worksheets on learning aids. The guide to advancement now includes a topic where it talks about merit badge worksheets, which are on meritbadge.org, a great website with a lot of great resources, but they're not official resources. And so while they may aid in learning, it's important that we don't have a culture where our youth think that filling out a worksheet is how you earn a merit badge. I've seen that. I'm sure many of you have already seen that, where a boy shows up with a merit badge worksheet and says, okay, I'm done. No, that's not how this works. Discuss, show, tell. None of that happens on a worksheet, right? The only thing that happens on a worksheet is write or draw. And on the other side, you may not require a scout fill out a worksheet for meeting a merit badge requirement. Now, blue cards, or what's known as a partial blue card, is where a boy may complete part of a merit badge with one counselor, say at camp or at a merit badge fair, and may not complete it, or maybe he moves or joins a different unit. And so he hasn't finished the merit badge, but those signatures still stand. And the partial sign-offs don't expire as long as the scout is a registered youth member. So if a boy shows up to you with a merit badge card that's half signed, you as a counselor do have the discretion, to accept that card. But generally you should, unless you have a reason to believe that maybe there was something wrong with the original setting, the counselor wasn't meeting the requirements. But again, bring that up with the council. But as in scouting, once a boy's done a requirement, he's done the requirement and he has credit for that. It's reasonable as a counselor to discuss with a boy some of those requirements, make sure that he remembers them, especially if there's been a long break in between sessions and may not have the foundation to move on to the other requirements. But generally, you should consider accepting the partially completed requirements and allow the boy to complete that badge. And again, once it's earned, it's earned. Once a scout has a merit badge signed off by a registered and approved counselor, and when they met the requirements, they've met the purpose of the merit badge program. The badge is his to keep and count. It's his merit badge. Now, the boy doesn't lose if an adult doesn't necessarily follow the rules. The boy that's working on the merit badge gets the merit badge. And that's the point. There are a few exceptions where you may question, and a second counselor review may be warranted, and that there's some outlines in the guide to advancement. You can contact the counselor or district advancement committee if you have any concerns. But this may come up, say, in a board review or for a unit leader, where it's patently clear and obvious that this youth did not do this merit badge or meet the requirements. And this may perhaps happen in a camp setting where the unit leader knows the boy didn't attend that fifth day and take that test, but somehow he got checked off on the checklist like everybody else. And so in those situations, okay, the list may say here in the badge, the boy knows he didn't earn it, the unit leader knows he didn't earn it, and so work through that process and do those things. If if it's very clear and there's a dispute, again, bring that to your council advancement committee or your district advancement committee to sort that out, to make sure that the boy gets credit for the things he's done and that a path is made for him to complete things he may still need to do to earn that merit badge. So let's go over a couple quick myths, and that'll wrap up the training and help us understand at what age or rank may Boy Scouts work on merit badges. As soon as they're a Boy Scout. There is no requirement that they be a certain rank. As long as they're a registered Boy Scout, varsity scout, or venturer, male venturer, they may work on merit badges. What is the maximum number of merit badges a scout may work on at any time? All 130 if he really wants to. You can guide him and promote a little more focus, but it's up to the boy how many he wants to work on. Is a scout allowed to begin work on a merit badge without his unit leader's approval? Yes, but he needs to have that conversation with his unit leader and sign blue card to continue to meet with a counselor. As we discussed before, sometimes the boys have met the requirements or started working on them before they even know that there is a merit badge, or maybe they know there's a merit badge and they do a couple of things to prepare themselves because they've done that already with their family or their unit. If a scout has too many unfinished merit badges, may the scoutmaster limit how many others he may begin? No, again, we've talked about that. The signature on the blue card from the scoutmaster or the unit leader is not permission, and you may not withhold permission for a youth to change his mind and work on another merit badge. Maybe he started the chess merit badge and realized he really just doesn't like chess. That's great. That's also part of the merit badge program. Just because he doesn't latch on to an interest doesn't mean that the point of the program wasn't met through adult association and the boy setting goals and realizing maybe he wants to work on something else. Is it appropriate to tell a scout he must earn all or most of his Eagle required badges before he earns any others? Not necessarily. You can guide as a unit leader, counsel them, help them have some focus. But if a boy decides he wants to do nothing but electives, great, scouting's fun. Help him explore and learn and grow at his speed and his pace. That's part of the conversation. You may not forbid him from working on other merit badges in camp or otherwise, and require only Eagle required badges first. Is the scoutmaster permitted to serve as a troop merit badge counselor for some merit badges like camping or hiking? Yes, as long as he's registered as a merit badge counselor. Being a scoutmaster or a team coach or venturing advisor does not of itself authorize you to sign off on merit badges. But you could be, once signed up as a merit badge counselor, a counselor for any and all the merit badges you are approved to be a counselor for. What is the maximum number of badges a youth may earn from one counselor? Currently, national and our council has no limit on that. And so, but a unit may have a clear practice established or a clear limit, but that limit must apply to all members of the unit. So an example where that may come in is where a youth may be earning 10, 15 merit badges from the same counselor. Well, even if the boy is meeting every single requirement for every single merit badge, they're also missing part of the merit badge counselor process, which is that variety of adult association. So a unit may put a reasonable limit on the number of merit badges a youth may earn from a certain counselor, but it has to, again, apply to all the youth in the unit. How many badges may one counselor be approved to counsel? Again, our council does not put a limit on that. If you're qualified to be a counselor, you're qualified to be a counselor, and we welcome you to apply and work with as many youth as you're able to. There are some councils out there that do have a limit on that, but our council does not have a limit on that. And again, because merit badge counselor is a council approved position, units don't get to put a limit on how many merit badges you may sign up for as a counselor. May you counsel your own son? Yes, you may. But bear in mind that part of the merit badge counselor merit badge program is adult association, getting them working with other youth or other leaders, other merit badge counselors that have different perspectives. It may make sense. If you're a pilot, why should he go work with someone else on aviation? If you're a dentist, sure, work with your boy on dentistry merit badge. But could you find another pilot or dentist to help him? That would be great too, and it helps expand the horizons for your son. And so there's value in that. So there's nothing that says you may not, but practical wisdom may encourage you to help your son work with others. May you counsel in other units, districts, or councils? Yes. Once you're a merit badge counselor, you're a merit badge counselor, and you may counsel a registered youth anywhere. due to tight schedules, is a camp staff member allowed to make minor adjustments so requirements can be finished at camp? No, the requirements are the requirements. And if a youth doesn't finish at camp, then he'll have a partial merit badge to complete at home with another registered counselor. Once you are registered and approved as a counselor, at what point must you re-register and become reapproved? Different councils have different policies. The practice and policy in this council so far is that once you're registered and approved, you will be rolled forward every year. Once, as the districts and councils recharter, they recharter all the merit badge counselors in those positions. The only exception is if your youth protection training is not current. You will not be rechartered or re-registered automatically. You probably may have seen, or you will see, emails reminding you when your youth protection is about to expire, or when recharter is coming up and your youth protection is going to expire soon. You do need to turn in a new registration form if you're going to add or drop a merit badge that you want to either no longer counsel for, or add a new merit badge that you want to counsel for. When does a partial expire? A partial blue card doesn't expire so long as he's a registered member of the Boy Scouts and eligible to work towards advancement. And so as long as he's a Boy Scout, Varsity Scout, or a Venturer, he may continue to work on his merit badges that he's already begun. And just so that you know, I'm not making that up. Here's the actual answers provided by the National Committee. So, in conclusion, the role of a merit badge counselor is very important to the Boy Scouts. You have the opportunity to share your passion, teach some skills, but ultimately touch lives, help these boys grow into the men that we need in our society, the men that we want them to be, men of character, fit and prepared to lead valuable lives, contributing to our great society. For more information, you can go to scouting.org/advancement, where you can find all kinds of resources. The Guide to Advancement is available for a free download. Guide to Safe Scouting, again, is a download. Merit badge pamphlets are available either online to download, or you can buy them in the Scout store. Boy Scout requirements books, all those things are either available for a free download online, or you can purchase them at your local store or online at scoutstuff.org. And I appreciate you taking the time to get trained. Again, to receive credit for this training, please send me an email. It's in the comments below, and we'll record the training. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll point you in the right direction to get those questions answered. But more than that, I appreciate what you do and what you will do for our youth. It's important that they know that they have people that they can work with, people that care about them, people that are going to help them succeed in life, not just in scouting, but in life, because that's what we're here for. Again, thank you, and Godspeed.